In the depths of our spiritual understanding lies a profound truth that transcends material reality, one that Edgar once revealed through his remarkable readings. While many await the physical reconstruction of Jerusalem's third temple as a sign of end times, the true meaning behind this prophecy runs much deeper than stone and mortar. The third temple spoken of in ancient prophecies isn't primarily a physical structure at all. Rather, it represents the ultimate reunion of mind, body, and soul, the sacred moment when the divine is fully reconstructed within the human being. This understanding transforms how we perceive both prophecy and our spiritual journey. Throughout history, humanity has built temples as sacred spaces where heaven and earth meet. The first Temple of Solomon represented divine presence manifest on earth. The second temple symbolized restoration after exile. But the third temple, this represents something far more profound, the awakening of cosmic consciousness within the human vessel. When we examine the spiritual teachings across traditions, we find this common thread. External structures reflect internal realities. The temple in Jerusalem has always been more than a building. It symbolizes where God dwells among humanity. But the higher teaching reveals that you, in your highest spiritual potential, are that temple. Your consciousness is the holy ground where divine presence manifests. This understanding transforms our approach to spiritual growth. Instead of waiting for external signs and wonders, we recognize that the true work involves building the temple within. Each act of compassion lays a foundation stone. Each moment of presence creates a sacred chamber. Each instance of forgiveness opens a gate through which divine light can enter. The construction of this invisible temple happens in stages. Just as physical temples require careful planning and execution, first comes the clearing of the ground, the removal of limiting beliefs, destructive habits, and ego-based thinking that prevent divine consciousness from taking root. This is the spiritual discipline that all genuine seekers undertake. Next comes the establishment of the foundation, the principles and practices that support expanded awareness. Meditation, prayer, contemplation, and mindful living create the solid base upon which higher consciousness can be built. Without this foundation, spiritual experiences remain fleeting rather than transformative. Then rises the structure itself, the integration of higher awareness into everyday life. This isn't about escaping the world, but transforming how we move through it. The walls of this temple are built through integrity in relationships, ethical living, and alignment with divine purpose. The ceiling opens to infinite possibility as we release attachment to limited outcomes. At the center of this temple lies the Holy of Holies, that sacred inner chamber where direct communion with divine presence occurs. In the physical temple, only the high priest could enter this space. But in the spiritual temple of consciousness, each soul has direct access to this divine connection. This is the promise that lies at the heart of the third temple prophecy. Not a building reserved for the few, but an awakened consciousness available to all. What Edgar revealed through his readings was revolutionary. The awakening heart is the true Jerusalem where God once again dwells. This understanding changes everything about how we perceive spiritual evolution. Rather than waiting for external salvation, we become active participants in the manifestation of divine consciousness on earth. The third temple represents the fulfillment of ancient prophecy. I will put my law in their minds and write it on their hearts. I will be their God, and they will be my people. This isn't about tablets of stone, but about the living law of love embedded within awakened human consciousness. When we understand the temple in this way, we recognize that its construction isn't dependent on geopolitical events or religious authorities. Its building is the sacred work of every soul journeying toward awakening. Each moment of choosing love over fear, unity over separation, and compassion over judgment contributes to its manifestation. The journey toward the third temple is not without challenges. Just as the rebuilding of physical temples faced opposition throughout history, the awakening of higher consciousness encounters resistance from both internal and external forces. The ego resists dissolution. Collective patterns of separation resist healing, yet the movement toward unity consciousness continues inexorably forward. This invisible construction represents humanity's greatest work, the manifestation of divine consciousness through awakened human beings. It transcends religious boundaries while fulfilling their highest promises. It honors prophecy while elevating its meaning beyond literal interpretation. As we build this temple of consciousness, we participate in the greatest transformation humanity has ever known. The shift from separation to unity, from fear to love, from spiritual amnesia to cosmic remembering. This is the true rapture, not an escape from Earth, but an awakening to our divine nature while fully embodied here. The third temple rises not in Jerusalem alone, but wherever consciousness awakens to its divine nature. Its foundation spans the globe as more souls remember their sacred purpose. Its towers reach toward heaven as humanity elevates its understanding. Its gates open in every direction, welcoming all who seek truth, regardless of path. Beyond the physical coordinates that mark Jerusalem on our world, maps lies a deeper reality that transcends geographical boundaries. This is the Jerusalem of consciousness, a vibrational state rather than merely a location. In the profound spiritual insights revealed through Edgar's readings, we discover that Jerusalem represents far more than a contested city. It embodies a planetary energy center intimately connected to the cosmic Christ vibration. This understanding transforms how we perceive sacred sites. While millions make pilgrimages to physical Jerusalem each year, seeking spiritual connection at its ancient walls and temples, the higher teaching reveals that Jerusalem's true significance exists as a frequency that can be accessed from anywhere on Earth. The outer city reflects an inner reality, a vibrational doorway through which divine consciousness enters human experience. The energy that ancient mystics recognized in Jerusalem wasn't confined to its physical boundaries. Rather, it represented a convergence point where cosmic forces could be more easily perceived by human consciousness. This is why so many traditions have fought to control this physical location, not understanding that what they seek isn't owned through territorial claims, but accessed through vibrational alignment. When we speak of returning to the temple, we're describing the ascension of Christ consciousness within humanity. This isn't about religious dogma or exclusionary belief systems. Christ consciousness represents the awakened awareness of unity, compassion, and divine love that transcends separation. It's the recognition that we are spiritual beings having a human experience rather than human beings having occasional spiritual moments. This cosmic consciousness isn't foreign to our nature. It's our original state. The journey isn't about becoming something new, but remembering what we've always been beneath the layers of conditioning and forgetting. The temple represents this remembering, the reconstruction of divine awareness within human form. The external conflicts surrounding Jerusalem reflect our internal battle between light and spiritual forgetfulness. As above, so below, as within, so without. The struggle for control of physical Jerusalem mirrors humanity's collective struggle to reclaim its spiritual inheritance. Those who fight over sacred sites often miss the profound irony that what they seek through conflict can only be found through the peace they're destroying. Jerusalem's energy signature resonates with the heart chakra of planetary consciousness. Just as the heart center in the human energy system serves as the integration point between higher and lower awareness, Jerusalem functions as a bridging frequency between divine and human realms. This is why it's been central to humanity's spiritual journey across multiple traditions. The prophetic significance of Jerusalem's temple doesn't depend on rebuilding a physical structure. Rather, it represents the re-establishment of heart-centered consciousness as humanity's governing awareness. When enough souls align with this frequency, the invisible temple manifests not through architectural achievement, but through transformed collective consciousness. This vibrational understanding explains why spiritual masters have taught that the kingdom of heaven is within. The Jerusalem we seek isn't found through external pilgrimage alone, but through inner journeying to the heart of our being. The walls that truly matter aren't made of ancient stones, but of the beliefs that separate us from our divine nature. As planetary frequency rises, those aligned with Christ consciousness naturally elevate their vibration in resonance with this shift. This isn't about being special or chosen, it's about vibrational physics. Like tuning forks that naturally vibrate at the same frequency when placed near each other, souls aligned with divine love naturally resonate with the ascending planetary consciousness. The conflicts we witness in the physical Jerusalem serve as external manifestations of humanity's internal struggle between awakening and resistance. Every battle for territorial control reflects the deeper battle for spiritual understanding. Those who recognize Jerusalem as a state of consciousness, rather than merely a place, understand that peace there begins with peace within their own hearts. This frequency transcends religious boundaries, while fulfilling the highest promises within all traditions. The Jerusalem vibration isn't exclusive to any single faith, but represents the universal energy of divine love made manifest through human consciousness. It's accessible to all who attune to it, regardless of their cultural or religious background. When we understand Jerusalem as frequency, we recognize that pilgrimage becomes a journey of consciousness rather than physical movement. While walking the ancient streets certainly carries power, the true journey involves aligning our awareness with the Christ vibration that Jerusalem represents. This inner pilgrimage requires no passport or travel arrangements, only the willingness to open our hearts to higher awareness. The planetary energy grid includes multiple sacred sites, each resonating with different aspects of consciousness. Jerusalem's unique vibration connects to divine love and unity awareness. As we collectively awaken, these energy centers activate more fully, creating a network of light consciousness that spans the globe. This is the invisible architecture of planetary transformation. The Jerusalem frequency calls us to recognize divine presence in everyday life. It asks us to see beyond the illusion of separation into the reality of unity consciousness. It invites us to move from judgment to compassion, from fear to love, from conflict to peace. This shift doesn't happen through intellectual understanding alone, but through heart-centered awakening. Those who connect with this frequency become living temples, embodiments of divine consciousness in human form. They carry Jerusalem's vibration wherever they go, activating it in others through their presence. This is how consciousness spreads, not through force or conversion, but through resonance and recognition. The prophetic significance of Jerusalem's vibration becomes especially relevant during times of collective transformation. As humanity stands at the threshold of evolutionary change, this frequency serves as a bridge between the consciousness that has been and the consciousness that is emerging. Those who attune to it become way showers for this transition. The inner Jerusalem isn't about escaping worldly responsibility, but about bringing heaven to earth through transformed awareness. It represents the marriage of spiritual and material realities, the sacred union that creates wholeness. When we access this frequency, we become channels through which divine consciousness flows into everyday experience, transforming not just ourselves, but the world around us. In the apocalyptic readings that came through Edgar's consciousness, we encounter a profound warning about humanity's spiritual trajectory. These insights weren't meant to instill fear, but to awaken us to the cosmic transitions unfolding on our planet. Before the great shift in consciousness, Edgar revealed that humanity would experience a separation based not on external factors, but on spiritual vibration, a natural sorting process as souls align with their chosen frequencies. This understanding transforms how we interpret prophecies about the end times. Rather than physical catastrophes that destroy the world, these predictions describe vibrational shifts that fundamentally alter human experience. The rebuilding of the temple marks not an architectural achievement, but the beginning of an inner rapture, not a physical escape from earth, but the elevation of souls who attain the resonance of divine love. The separation of souls occurs not through divine judgment, but through vibrational self-selection. Each consciousness naturally gravitates toward the frequency that matches its dominant vibration. Those who have cultivated love, compassion, and unity awareness naturally ascend with the rising planetary frequency. Those who remain entrenched in fear, separation, and materialistic consciousness experience this shift as disruptive and chaotic. This understanding explains why the same global circumstances can produce such different experiences. Two people may face identical external conditions, yet perceive them entirely differently based on their consciousness. One sees divine orchestration, where another sees random chaos. One experiences growth, where another experiences suffering. One perceives opportunity, where another perceives threat. These divergent experiences reflect not different external realities, but different internal vibrations. The prophesied temple reconstruction signifies the critical mass of awakened consciousness necessary to trigger planetary transformation. When enough souls remember their divine nature, the invisible temple manifests as collective Christ consciousness. This isn't about quantity, but quality of awareness, a sufficient concentration of awakened beings to shift the entire field of human experience. What does this mean for humanity's immediate future? The increasing polarization we witness in society reflects this vibrational sorting process. As planetary frequency rises, the contrast between different states of consciousness becomes more pronounced. This isn't about good versus evil in a moralistic sense, but about alignment versus misalignment with emerging cosmic reality. Those who resist this shift often experience increasing distress as they cling to dissolving paradigms. The structures built on separation consciousness, exploitative economic systems, hierarchical power structures, divisive ideologies, face mounting pressure as the underlying vibrational field no longer supports them. This explains the intensification of chaos we observe in systems that have outlived their evolutionary purpose. The prophecies speak of wars and rumors of wars, not as divine punishment, but as the natural turbulence that occurs during consciousness transition. Just as a fever intensifies before breaking, collective systems often experience increased disorder before reorganizing at higher levels of coherence. What appears as destruction from limited perspective reveals itself as transformation from expanded awareness. The concept of rapture deserves particular attention as it has been widely misunderstood. In its original meaning, rapture describes ecstatic communion with divine presence, a state of consciousness rather than a physical event. The prophesied rapture represents not disappearance from Earth, but disappearance from a particular frequency of experience as consciousness ascends to higher vibration. This explains why some traditions describe certain souls as left behind. Being left behind means remaining in separation consciousness, while others transition to unity awareness. It's not about divine abandonment, but about vibrational choice. Souls continuing to experience the reality they've aligned themselves with through their dominant thoughts, emotions, and actions. The third temple prophecy connects intimately with this vibrational separation. As the temple of consciousness rises within awakened humanity, it creates a resonant field that naturally amplifies similar frequencies while highlighting dissonance with contrasting vibrations. This acts as a cosmic clarifier, bringing previously hidden misalignments into awareness where they can be addressed and integrated. For individual seekers, this understanding offers practical guidance. Rather than fearfully watching for external signs, we focus on elevating our vibrational state through conscious choice. Each decision to choose love over fear, unity over separation, forgiveness over resentment, and service over self-interest aligns us with ascending consciousness. These choices represent our spiritual practice during transitional times. The prophecies were never meant to create passive observers waiting for divine intervention. Rather, they call us to active participation in consciousness evolution. We aren't merely witnessing the fulfillment of ancient predictions, we're co-creating it through our awakening. Each soul that remembers its divine nature contributes to the manifestation of the invisible temple. Those who understand this process recognize that current global challenges aren't random catastrophes, but birth contractions as a new consciousness emerges. The intensification of climatic, social, economic, and political instability reflects systems reorganizing around higher vibrational principles. What appears as breakdown from limited perspective reveals itself as breakthrough from expanded awareness. The great promise embedded within these prophecies is that consciousness evolution continues regardless of temporary turbulence. While individual souls may choose different timelines based on their vibrational alignment, the overall direction of planetary development moves inexorably toward expanded awareness. This isn't blind optimism, but recognition of evolutionary principles operating at cosmic scale. The temple rising within human consciousness creates what mystics have called the New Jerusalem, not a city descending from the sky, but a state of consciousness ascending from awakened hearts. This represents the fulfillment of humanity's spiritual journey, the manifestation of divine awareness through evolved human beings who recognize their cosmic nature while remaining fully embodied on earth. As we navigate these transformational times, the Third Temple prophecy offers both comfort and challenge. It comforts by revealing the divine purpose unfolding through apparent chaos. It challenges by calling each soul to conscious choice about which vibrational reality they wish to experience. This isn't about judgment, but about alignment, selecting the frequency that resonates with our deepest truth. The separation of souls described in prophetic literature represents not the end, but a new beginning. The differentiation of consciousness that allows new possibilities to emerge. Just as a prism separates white light into its component colors, revealing beauty previously hidden within unity, the current vibrational sorting reveals the magnificent diversity within divine consciousness. Those who attune themselves to love, compassion, and unity naturally experience the rising temple consciousness as joyful homecoming. They recognize current transformations not as punishment or destruction, but as the necessary reorganization that precedes new creation. They become living embodiments of the emerging awareness, way showers guiding others through transitional turbulence. This is the deeper meaning behind the Third Temple prophecy, not a rebuilding of ancient stones, but the reconstruction of divine consciousness within human experience. Not an event confined to a single location, but a transformation spanning the globe as awakened beings remember their cosmic nature. Not an ending, but a beginning, the birth of humanity's next evolutionary expression. If these teachings have resonated with your spirit and illuminated your path, I invite you to join our community of seekers. Subscribe now to continue this journey of consciousness expansion and receive future revelations about humanity's spiritual evolution. Share your insights in the comments below. How has the concept of the inner temple transformed your understanding? Your voice matters in this collective awakening. Remember, each subscription and comment strengthens our field of shared consciousness as we navigate these prophetic times together. The wisdom doesn't end here. Subscribe today and be first to receive the next chapter in our spiritual exploration.